This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Debbie Cooper.
And I'm Anthony Germain.
Caught in the path of an avalanche.
Nain in mourning after a man was killed this weekend. We have that story, and here's what else is making news tonight.
Well, another fine-looking gentleman right here, one of the best accordion players in Newfoundland. Isn't that right, Ray Walsh?
It's a nasty rumor, I think.
Remembering a musical icon.
Legendary musician Ray Walsh passes away at the age of 75.
They could dissolve at any time, so they could go to the LG, dissolve the legislature, and put us right into a general election.
Under the fixed election legislation, what would have to happen to have an election sooner?
The Chief Electoral Officer answers those questions. We start tonight in Nain, where 3 snowmobilers found themselves in the path of an avalanche this weekend. One of those men is dead.
And out of respect for the family, CBC is not naming the man or showing his photograph. Jacob Barker's been following this story today, and he joins us live now. Jacob, what can you tell us?
Well, social media posts began going up on Saturday afternoon calling for anyone with a shovel or a skidoo to come help. And while the search began with hope in mind, it ended with tragedy. Now, Nain RCMP received the report of the avalanche at about 3 p.m. It was about 2 kilometers outside of the town in the area known locally as the Blowhole. It's described as a high pass, and it's a known shortcut between the town and the sea ice. RCMP say 3 men were caught in the path of the avalanche. 2 emerged at the bottom. The other was buried. After about 2 hours, the man was located and brought to the local clinic where he was pronounced dead. Now, amazingly, about 100 people reportedly showed up to help dig the man out. Today, the mayor is praising his community.
I'm very proud of my community for responding like that. I think that just shows that how close the community is, and I'm quite overcome, I guess, with the fact that nobody asked. They just responded. They were there quickly. It's a small community. Everybody knew him. There's a big family, and the big family spreads out through the community, so the whole community feels that we share their grief.
Now, Dicker says the area is known for being at risk to avalanche, and there have been other non-fatal avalanches in the area. Here's scientist David Liverman.
Where you have a history of avalanches, that definitely shows that there is a risk in the area. And really the northern Labrador coast, anywhere where you've got steep slopes and a lot of snow, there has to be a significant avalanche risk. Avalanches are probably very frequent on the coast in the right conditions, but it's also very sparsely populated, so we don't know a lot about them.
And the community in Nain continues to pull together. There are fundraising efforts underway in the town to assist the family who needs to get to town to spend this time there and to get them through this very difficult time. Reporting live for Here and Now in Happy Valley Goose Bay, I'm Jacob Barker.
Well, you can see the area around Nain is very mountainous, and it's potential to see those avalanches. But what are the conditions that we have to see for that to happen? Well, what happened is a temperature flux. So that causes a weak layer in the snow due to melting. And that's exactly what happened on Friday. So not only did the temperatures warm up, but also a significant amount of fresh snow fell, which led to that weak layer letting go through the day on Saturday. And then those temperatures dropped quite significantly Saturday during the search down to the -20s. Now, over the next couple of days, we are going to see these temperature fluxes for most of the Labrador coast. We're looking at windy conditions tonight with some warnings in place, and then some more snow as we head through the night tonight. I'll have all those details on your forecast for the rest of the province when I come back.
Thanks, Ashley. A 37-year-old man from Mount Pearl is dead after a head-on crash on Veterans Memorial Highway early yesterday. The driver of the other vehicle has been identified as a 61-year-old woman from Harbour Grace. Police say she was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The crash happened just after 3 o'clock Sunday morning between Tilton and Harbour Grace. Police had closed the road for 4 hours to investigate.
One of the province's most famous accordion players has passed away. Ray Walsh died suddenly of a heart attack yesterday at the age of 75, and today his musical influence is being remembered.
I feel that I'm one of the most fortunate people around. We have all the family around us. We work together at music, and we are continuing to pass on the music that I learned from my father and my grandfather. I mean, I am really, really fortunate.
Walsh rose to fame on shows like CBC's All Around the Circle, Come All Ye, and Saturday Night Jamboree in the 1960s and 70s, and was best known as a master of the piano accordion. Born and raised in Bay de Verde, music was a family affair. He, his brothers, and his children performed and recorded together. In 2013, Walsh received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Newfoundland and Labrador Folk Arts Society for his contribution to the cultural fabric of this province. Today, he is being remembered not just as a gifted musician, but also as a father, a school teacher, a former hometown mayor, and an inspiration.
Of course, I knew him as a dad, but I also knew him as a bandmate and a musical leader, a band leader. He had a lot of music left in him. He often said, you know, I still gotta play.
We played Tuesday night. I said, you know, Ray, are we getting a bit too old for this? So he looked at me and he said, Ronnie, if we wouldn't at this, we'd be at nothing. And he said, I don't want to be at nothing. So he said, we love it. The people enjoy it. We enjoy it because the people enjoy it. When we stop enjoying it, we'll stop playing it. I said, God love you. That's perfect. Put my arms around him and hugged him and kissed him and told him I loved him, right? But he didn't like that.
No. A musician, but a dad, a brother, an uncle, a grandfather.
As much as he was, you know, such an amazing musician, family was what was first for Uncle Ray. It was all about being together and having the times at the house and just everybody being together. And I think that was such a big part of his life, was that he was so proud of the family band and when everyone was together and on stage and in the recordings and just making music together was his most favorite thing.
I can't believe that we're sitting here today talking about him in the past tense. That's such a shock. I'm rocked. But what an icon of Newfoundland accordion playing he was. You identified accordion playing with Ray Walsh. From the time I was a teenager, a little boy, just whenever you thought accordion, you thought Ray Walsh. Yeah, no, he was a star.
And we're so lucky to have had 75 years of Ray Walsh.
And the music will still be alive.
And there's lots of music to come from him. It's all right there on the computer behind me. It just needs to. We'll work on it together.
If he do not know by now where the labour movement and the labour leaders of this province rest in support for the Newfoundland Association of Public Employees, then brothers and sisters, there's something drastically wrong with our Premier.
Longtime Labour leader Bill Parsons has died. Parsons was former president of the Federation of Labour, and he also helped guide the labour movement through the construction of offshore oil mega projects. For the last 13 years, he served on the Labour Relations Board, and before that, he held top positions with the Canadian Communication Workers Union, the FFAW, the Canadian Labour Congress, and he was a founding member of the Newfoundland and Labrador Safety Association. Parsons passed away Saturday at Carbonear General Hospital.
It'll be another year before students at Bishop Field are back in the regular building. The 90-year-old elementary school in downtown St. John's was closed 15 months ago after part of the gym ceiling collapsed. Now the school board says the rebuild is about to start. Since the collapse, about 280 children have been rerouted to the former School for the Deaf on Topsail Road. Bishop Field won't be ready in time for the next school year. The board says it will likely be January before students are allowed back in. Parents are disappointed it's taken so long for work to start and say the distance to the alternate school is inconvenient in the meantime.
If there's any issues, the parents are having trouble getting to them now. And it also affects participation in the school, you know, extracurricular activities, that sort of stuff. If you've got a kid who used to be able to walk to the school to play basketball or volleyball or something like that, and then all of a sudden his parents need to drive him, what if his parents don't even have a car?
A big shakeup at Central Health as the new CEO overhauled senior management. Some staff have been reassigned, some have been let go, and others have retired. A year ago, Health Minister John Haggie ordered a complete external review of Central Health based on concerns brought to the department about governance and management problems. CEO Andre Robichaud says she wants people in place who can transform that health authority.
The Premier wants to diversify the forestry industry. His target is to increase timber allocations and harvest levels by 20%, creating jobs while keeping forests sustainable. Government unveiled its plan today in Corner Brook. Most items are in the early stages, but government says it is making headway. Today, the province announced $500,000 for a new wage subsidies program. In the spring, secondary processing employers could qualify for subsidies of up to 60%. Government hopes to increase forestry in Labrador. It's also looking into creating a college-level forestry program. Mark Rumbold has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for drugging his wife. In October, a jury found Rumbold guilty of administering a noxious substance after slipping Ativan and sleeping pills into his wife's drinks. That jury found him not guilty of attempted murder. A pre-sentence report said Rumbold is very low risk to reoffend, but in delivering the sentence, Justice David Hurley said the incident shows a high degree of intent and that Rumbold has abused and injured a spouse. Though he was sentenced to 3 years, the judge granted him time and a half for what he's already served.
Postville hasn't seen a police officer since December. The town has an understanding with the RCMP that officers will have a presence in the community 20 days each month. But so far, no police have been on patrol there in 2019. The community can't get a firm date on when regular patrols will resume. In a statement to CBC, the RCMP said they only received 16 calls from Postville in all of 2018, and most of those calls weren't serious. CBC News is waiting for a response from the Minister of Justice on whether the RCMP will return to Postville. Well, it's not often that a judge sees smiling faces in their courtroom, but for the last 15 years, that's been the case on a weekly basis in St. John's.
It's called Lunch with the Judge, where students get an up-close look at how the court system works and hopefully steer clear of the wrong side of the law.
Here now is Ariana Kellen followed along with one class that went to court.
Make sure that you're not carrying any weapons.
He's not likely going to find any weapons here. More giggles than gang signs.
Please be seated.
These are grade 6 students from Bishop Abraham Elementary, here as part of a 15-year program that lets students have a behind-the-scenes view of the justice system. And the timing isn't a coincidence.
Do you know what age you have to be in order to be charged? 12. Exactly right. And what grade would that be?
6.
Grade 6, that's right.
The provincial court hears about 25,000 cases. 2,000 involve youth. Today, these students got to play many parts: crown, defense, witness, and judge. And their teacher, of course, was on trial.
You're guilty.
She's guilty.
I think it's really important that children know, exactly what's going on, and learning about their, the importance of having a good reputation, about being a good citizen, about, leading positive lives.
Martin has brought small groups of students through provincial court ever since the program began, learning new things, hearing new stories, and going places they've thankfully never been, like the holding cells.
A lot of times this is what you'll see us use when we're on the news, taking people to court. So when we take them out of the cell, we'll handcuff the individual and then we'll escort them to the courtroom.
It's actually really good to know what could happen to you in the future, or now, because I'm almost 12.
A lesson in consequence, but also a glimpse at how the Canadian system works.
We ask, well, what were you expecting? And they'd say,
well, I thought you'd be like Judge Judy. And I think when I heard that first, I realized the influence that the American TV has on our young people.
And if you're wondering what was on the menu, a meal specially prepared by the kitchen at Her Majesty's Penitentiary, ham and cheese. The whole court experience, all in a lunch break.
Okay, I'm going to close the door, ladies. Okay, but you're never in the dark and you're never alone because you're on camera and the lights are on. And then I close the door and say, see you next week.
Ariana Kelland, CBC News, St. John's.
Yes.
Great experience.
It is. It's fun there, but you know, that's going to stay with them.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
A good reminder, the courts are actually open for all of us to go to and sort of pay attention. Inside, look at our justice system, too.
The crowd is filling up here at the Gander Hotel, and everybody is waiting in just a few minutes. We're expecting to see the Toronto cast of Come From Away. I'll tell you what they said today and coming up on Here and Now.
This weather forecast is brought to you by Newfoundland and Labrador Tourism. 5,000 kilometers of groomed trails are waiting to be explored. Embrace winter today.
Now, just before we get to the weather, for you winter anglers, just 1 week until the start of ice fishing.
And an aquarium in St. John's is helping people prepare. Staff at the Fluvarium offered a workshop this weekend to teach people how to properly and safely ice fish. They spent the day making their own fishing rods and learning the angler's guide and cutting holes in the ice.
Yeah, the important part. Now, a good number of the participants say that they're looking forward to using their new skills outdoors.
Of children in particular who don't spend much time outside anymore. And any activity, as far as I'm concerned, as an environmental educator, that gets kids outside and enjoying the outdoors is important.
We moved here in the summer, and we've enjoyed seeing the season change, and now that all the snow's here, we thought we'd have a go at a bit of ice fishing.
Yeah, it doesn't quite get like this in England, so we thought we had to take advantage whilst we're here.
Think as well about knowing what you can and cannot take from the rivers is really helpful, and a little bit about the ice safety and what to do if you do fall through.
Yes, you don't want to fall through,
Absolutely.
but you want to know how to get out.
That's true. That's true. It's a reminder looking at what a gorgeous weekend it was.
Yes.
Wow, was
beautiful.
It ever. It was a beautiful weekend, you know, looking from the inside out. You just want to be outside enjoying this weather. Not so much the case today. We did see a little bit of a system roll through. If we take a look at the current satellite and radar, we can see it is starting to move out and heading through the night tonight. It does look like things will clear out. Now, we do still have quite a bit of activity happening up through Labrador, and that will continue as we head through the night tonight. So taking a look at those temperatures, snow to start for parts of eastern Newfoundland, and then things changed over to rain, or will do so soon for most of eastern Labrador, or eastern Newfoundland rather, and that's because the temperatures have climbed up above zero. And we're seeing that along the west coast as well, at 1 degree for Corner Brook, -3 in Port aux Basques. But take a look at these temperatures up through the Labrador coast, -6 in Makkovik, -1 in Cartwright right now. Now, looking at these winds, that is the story up through Labrador, along with some snow as well. Gusts right now between 40 and 60 kilometers per hour, but as we head through the night tonight, they are going to strengthen quite significantly. So we do have a wind warning in place from Makkovik through to Nain. Gusts tonight in exposed areas or along the coast looking at around 100 to 110 kilometers per hour. Underneath this is a blowing snow advisory as well, down through Rigolette, only in that blowing snow advisory, but the winds will be strong, essentially anywhere from Happy Valley Goose Bay towards the coast, with gusts between 70 and 80 kilometers per hour. And then otherwise, an extreme cold warning for Labrador City, and we'll likely see these warnings over the next couple of days on and off. So here's a look at the forecast for tonight. Temperatures right now, not too bad, but they are going to drop like a rock down to the -10 for Corner Brook, minus double digits is what I was trying to say. And then St. John's and the Avalon dipping down to the -single digits. It's going to stay quite windy up through the northern peninsula. St. Anthony -16. So we're looking at that potential for some blowing snow. Otherwise, everything should clear out by morning, especially along the west coast. And then up through Labrador again. Strong winds out of the west and then switching to northwesterlies tonight. Between 5 to 10 centimeters on tap for Nain, down towards Cartwright closer to 2 centimeters. And then those cooler temperatures, as I mentioned, for Lab City down to -32, but that wind chill making it feel closer to -46. So definitely cooler tonight, and same for wind chills near about -38 for Happy Valley Goose Bay. And again, those windy conditions will continue. Now, taking a look at Future Tracker, you can see quickly everything moves out for most of the island. Up through Labrador, though, we are going to hang on to that potential for snow, and that's the story through the day tomorrow. Those winds are going to stay strong as well, likely below warning criteria, but still strong through the day as we start to see that snow move in. Happy Valley Goose Bay could see a couple centimeters tomorrow as well. But down through most of the island, just some cloudy periods in the first half of the day, and then things clear out quite nicely, but it is going to stay cold through the day. So here's a look at the numbers in the -single digits for the most part. Those northwest winds around 30 kilometers per hour for the east coast. Along the west coast, though, those winds will ease. And then up through Labrador, again, another 5 centimeters for Nain, some blowing snow in the morning, and then things will eventually clear out. It looks like a nice but cold day for Lab City at -23. So let's look at your forecast for tomorrow. We will look ahead when I come back. Deb?
Thanks, Ashley. A St. John's Cafe owner has put his business up for sale to write a book about love. Instead of pouring coffee, he'll be pouring his heart out in pages of 7 short stories. But it's not your typical romance genres. Storylines range from people falling in love with the city to a mother's love for her child. The owner won 2 local arts grants and thought St. John's would be a perfect backdrop for a romance. With all the writing, he says he doesn't have time to run his game board cafe, Mochanopoly, so he's put the cafe up for sale, hoping to find the perfect owner.
So we have a lot of people who love this place, and obviously we love this place. So we're gonna definitely never close the door of Mochanopoly. But we want to make sure that it's someone who really loves board games and wants to make sure he really loves the community and want to make sure they know the clientele of Mochanopoly. We're very inclusive. It's a safe space for everybody. So I want to make sure that they would understand that.
The cast from Come From Away is back where everything started tonight. They are in Gander, visiting some of the places that inspired the award-winning musical. Here Now's Garrett Barry spent some time with the cast today, and he joins us live tonight at a gathering in Gander. So Garrett, what's happening?
Well, it's a bit of a who's who actually right now behind me from the Come From Away story. In this crowd are several of the people who inspired characters in what will become the hit musical. And in just a few moments later tonight, we're expecting the Toronto cast of Come From Away to come to here to the Gander Hotel for a dinner and auction. Now, tickets here are a bit of a hot commodity, $75 per seat to get a chance to mingle with the performers who are finishing up a little bit of a short visit here in central Newfoundland tonight. They were in Appleton this afternoon visiting the Durham-Flynn Riverfront Peace Park, and the piece of the World Trade Center steel that is displayed in that park in the community. They also heard from Durham-Flynn, the former mayor himself, at a lunch at Appleton's Town Hall, who talked about hosting all those plain people in that very same building.
If it's possible, they're even more emotionally overwhelming than they were when we first heard about the story, when we first read about the story. All during rehearsal, we watched several documentaries about what happened, and to now be in the places where these events took place, it is quite humbling, but also very rewarding and heartwarming to meet these people who sacrificed everything for the Come From Aways.
I mean, we are on stage with very, very minimal set. We have 2 tables and 13 chairs. And to be in the buildings where a lot of the meetings that we are more or less very, very truncated, but we're portraying some of the incidences that happened before the planes landed and while they were here, that for me is what I'm going to bring back. I know where I am now. I know exactly where I am.
Now, both of those performers said that they were going to bring a little bit of this experience back with them to the stage in Toronto, but they don't have too long to adjust. They're leaving for St. John's tomorrow and back on stage for a rehearsal in Toronto on Thursday. Their performances start again next Tuesday, just about a week from today. Reporting live for Here Now in Gander, I'm Garrett Barry.
It's always a treat for people to see that show.
Yeah, and you were away, but that actor that we saw in Garrett's item, he was here in St. John's and he was very emotional, and I know that he was really eager to get to Gander, where, of course, the whole story was set. Very nice.
Because I feel it's nothing that can break me. Hero of my story, I'm a warrior.
Kelly Loader's new single hits the extra big screen.
Find out how she scored the soundtrack for a new IMAX movie trailer. That's ahead. Kelly Loader is earning a ton of new fans. Her latest single, Fearless, is the soundtrack for a new IMAX movie trailer. People are watching the trailer and looking her up, commenting on YouTube that they found her because of superpower dogs.
Superpower dogs.
The movie is all about real-life dogs that do real-life rescues. It follows 7 pups and their people as they train to save lives. And you can hear Loader and her anthem throughout the trailer. Superpower Dogs is going to be released at IMAX theaters internationally, including in Australia and the Netherlands, starting in March.
What if our best friends are our best hope?
And Kelly Loader is with us from Toronto. Great to connect with you, Kelly. Congratulations. How did all this come about?
Well, I was in a car with a music supervisor, and he was on the phone with a movie director. And I overheard that the director was having a little trouble finding a song for this trailer. I had no idea what the movie was about, who was in it, anything. And so after he hung up the phone, I offered to write a song for the trailer. I said, if you like it, you can pitch it. And we wrote it that weekend, me and my friend Daniel Adams, who was in Newfoundland, so we wrote it over FaceTime. And we turned it over by Tuesday, and then Wednesday we got the go-ahead that it was the song that they wanted to use.
You must have been blown away. This all happened so fast.
Yeah, it was insane. So the single was sort of, we made that decision after we had written the song for the trailer. We said, you know, people are going to see this trailer and they're going to want to go and get the song. So we said, maybe we should release the single. And it was funny because when the single came out, everyone was saying, this could be in a movie and this could be, you know, and I'm like thinking like, wait, just keep waiting, because we actually wrote the song for a movie.
And you neglected to say that the narrator of this film is none other than actor Chris Evans, Captain America. How cool is that?
I'm still trying to believe that. Yeah.
So Kelly, people are seeking out your song Fearless because of this trailer. It's been getting quite a lot of views, hasn't it?
It has been getting a lot of views. Spotify plays have been up like, I haven't ever had that many Spotify plays in my life. Because the trailer linked the song to their promotions and things like that.
So any other connection to Superpower Dogs? Have any of your other songs made the cut and are going to be featured in it?
There were a few that from my last record that were sort of maybes, but they didn't make the cut. But then we got the trailer, so I think I just stopped caring about whether or not we got those other ones, because the trailer just takes the cake for me.
And Kelly, what about a future in commercial work like this? And now that you've had this experience, will it open up doors for you?
I hope so. I think a career like this would make me really, really happy. And when I know specifically what I'm writing for, it makes it so much better. I knew what I was getting into. I knew what they wanted. I knew they wanted a powerful anthem. And I was able to deliver that based on the information they gave me. So, yeah, anyone out there, if you need a song, get in touch.
You're the one. So we have talked with you before, Kelly. You're from Badger. You are now living in Toronto. You made that big decision to pursue your career. It was tough at the time. So how would you say today that's been working out for you?
I think I haven't been here a year yet, and things are going pretty great. So I moved here last March, and so I'm just riding the wave.
Well, we hope that wave keeps rolling. Best of luck. Congratulations on this song, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Well, staying with music, a huge crowd carved up the dance floor yesterday at the NL Rock and Roll Pioneers Tribute Jam. The concert at the Old Mill in St. John's featured rock bands from the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. With the rock and roll generation getting a little older these days, organizers wanted to put those musicians back in the spotlight. Here now's Zach Gowdy takes you on a tour.
They came to party like it was 1969.
Oh, it's just a rockin', baby! It's a rockin'! First time here, and this is bringing me right back to when I was a little girl.
It was a trip back in time at the NL Rock and Roll Pioneers Tribute Jam. On stage, rock bands that had their heyday a half-century ago. In the crowd, an older audience keen for a rare chance to relive the music of their youth. The Tribute Jam was born from a book called Rock and Roll Comes to Newfoundland and Labrador. The authors collected images and stories from a chapter in the province's musical history that often gets overlooked.
Rock and roll is the soundtrack of the biggest demographic of this province, the baby boom generation. And we believe that maybe rock and roll has been forgotten by the music culture of Newfoundland.
A committee was formed, and the idea for a reunion show was quickly in the works. At the first Tribute Jam, organizers couldn't believe how many people showed up. They knew they had to do it again.
The people that come out to see this are of the generation that they remember the groups, right? So like when we get up and play, it's not so much like the boys are fantastic, it's a thing, I remember the guys and that's what they used to do. I remember dancing to that.
And this crowd came to dance.
You guys look great.
Well, thank you.
Did you haul these out of the closet for this show?
No, actually, we ordered them. We sent away for them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Got
these
from China.
Yeah.
Do you guys know these bands? Were you fans of these bands?
Yes, we were. God, yes, yes.
We
I mean, we grew up with these bands. We literally grew up with them.
Bands on the bill Sunday included members of Borealis, who released this province's first all-original rock and roll album. Also on stage, members of Reg and the Rebels. The band formed in 1968, and singer Reg House is still performing regularly.
I think it's great because it gets a chance to people that's in their homes that don't play anymore now to get out and meet guys that, oh God, George, haven't seen you for 20 years, 25 years, I thought you were dead.
The Tribute Jam also featured the band Fourth Agreement, who reunited for the first time in nearly 50 years.
It was a golden era. There was so much going on and so much camaraderie, and a lot of those comrades have passed in recent years.
The venue was at capacity before the first band hit the stage, with a lineup of people waiting outside to get in. When the music started, the place came alive. But the organizers say it's important to remember who wasn't there.
Since we've been doing this, we've lost a lot of our friends. In planning for this, 3 of the guys that we were hoping to play here today, and we started planning for this in December, and 3 of them have since passed away. So we've got to be on this now. If we want to do this, if we want to spark this to life again, it has to be now.
At the first 2 Tribute Jam concerts, all proceeds went to charity. But this time, organizers want to use the money to start some sort of provincial rock and roll Hall of Fame.
Possibly get a few plaques done and have a few things ready so that we can go and present it to somebody who might be interested in backing us. Either a Hall of Fame, Wall of Fame, or a Walk of Fame. We don't care as long as it's something, right?
The golden years may be gone, but the people here want the bands, their stories, and music to rock on. Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
And a great time was had by all.
Oh my goodness, look, having a great time. Did I see you in one of those pictures?
Thanks a lot. I was looking at them and I was saying, well, if the Stones can do it, why not our own?
There you go. The by-elections causing confusion?
The Chief Electoral Officer schools Anthony on the official rules of fixed election dates.
Hi, I'm Debbie. 14 years ago, I had a brain aneurysm, and within a week, I had a stroke.
We're checking back in with people who have overcome some major life challenges.
At the age of 36, I had to get better.
This is My Story, a new series with segments every 2 weeks on Here and Now.
This is my story.
Debbie Maloney, coming up on January 30th.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Some confusion of late in the wake of that by-election last week about whether or not we have fixed elections. Do we really have fixed elections? Yes, we do, but we thought we'd get a better understanding of that law, and I'm joined now by the Chief Electoral Officer for our province. So explain this law to me.
Right. The fixed state elections were introduced back in 2007, with the first one being October 2007. Every 4 years subsequent to that, we've had an election on the second Tuesday of October every 4 years. So 2007, right. 2011, 2015, and again for 2019.
Here we are.
Right.
Right, and it just so happens that this October, there's also expected to be a federal election on October 21st. So they collide.
That's correct.
All right. At what point does the Premier look at the legislation and what can he do?
On April 1st, the Premier, there's a section in the Act that says that if the Premier is of the opinion that there's an overlap with the federal election, then he has the authority to move the election to the last Monday of November.
Okay, so that's April 1st?
On April 1st.
Okay, yes. So that's a date we should look forward to then, because that's the point with which so it's not limited to April 1st. Is it April 1st to beyond, or is that the cutoff date?
No, April 1st is the date.
Okay, so it's actually like a deadline in a sense.
It says on April 1st.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, we'll have to see if the Premier makes any decisions.
Yes.
The legislation says, though, that if there is a collision of electoral schedules, that we're supposed to have it later. Is that right?
Well, that's the way it's set up right now is set up as that it would be the last Monday in November. And that would be approximately 5 weeks after the federal election.
There's also a provision in the legislation that maintains the Lieutenant Governor still has the power to dissolve Parliament. If the Premier talks to her and says, for this reason or that reason, I think we need to do this, if she's satisfied.
That's correct.
So you can explain that to me?
Yeah, even with fixed state elections, there's always the right for the LG to dissolve the legislature or dissolve the Parliament, Governor General in the case federally. And because there's any number of reasons that a legislature could get dissolved. They could have a significant question that they want to go to the electorate with, and they could use that as an opportunity.
So a Premier could essentially meet with the LG and say, hey, I think I'd like to actually do this in April, or no, it has to be after April, right?
No, they could dissolve at any time. So they could go to the LG and dissolve the legislature and put us right into a general election.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess what I've learned here is April 1 is a good date to sort of keep on for political watchers to keep their eyes on.
Yes.
Appreciate this very much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we're learning more about an incident involving training for members of the Canadian Armed Forces. 20 suffered frostbite, some winding up in hospital after an outdoor exercise earlier this month.
Put people at risk where they suffer from frostbite, which could in fact have long-term impact upon their health. I'm questioning the very leadership capacity, leadership skills of their leaders.
Soldiers marched for hours and then spent the night in the woods near Petawawa, Ontario. It was part of winter survival training. The temperature dropped below -30, leaving many with frostbite or minor hypothermia. A small group had to be treated in hospital. Today, many are wondering why the soldiers weren't better prepared. Retired Colonel Michel Drapeau believes they were exposed to significant risk and says there is a fine line between pushing soldiers and abusing power as commanders.
The families of 29 people who were killed or injured in the Rumbold Broncos bus crash are sharing their awful and heartbreaking stories. They're giving impact statements at the sentencing hearing of 30-year-old Jaskirat Singh Sidhu.
I hope that they'll be able to get some healing through this. I hope that Mr. Sidhu is able to hear about how wonderful the people were that were involved in the accident and the people that survived and the people that passed away. And I hope that the families can find some solace.
Now, Sadu pleaded guilty earlier this month to 16 counts of dangerous driving causing death and 13 counts of dangerous driving causing bodily harm. The hearing is being held in a gymnasium in Melfort, Saskatchewan to accommodate all of the families affected. The maximum sentence for dangerous driving causing death is 14 years.
The two young railway fanatics doing their bit to keep Newfoundland railway history alive. Sunday at noon and Monday at 7.
This weather update is brought to you by Beltone, helping the world hear better.
Welcome back. Well, just before my first weather, we were talking about how kind of a dreary day it was today.
Yeah, kind of gray.
Yeah, take a look at this photo that was just sent in. This was a sunset about, what, probably 20 minutes ago. I don't know how long ago, but not long ago, that Mark Gray captured in Bonavista. Vista. He grabbed everything he could outside just to take that picture, because look at those colors.
And the reflection, fantastic.
And a nice way to end the day. That was a great one.
That's right. And then what that saying is, red sky at morning, sailor take warning, red sky at night, sailor delight. Absolutely perfect, because we're expecting more sunshine through the day tomorrow. Definitely.
I like it.
Yes. But then looking ahead, we're going to go into Wednesday's forecast. A little bit more of a gray day is what we're expecting. So we're going to see those cloud cover into the afternoon potentially, and then overnight is when we'll start to see that next system roll in. So it looks like more snow on the way for Labrador overnight Wednesday and even into Thursday, and then a mess of a system rolls through most of Newfoundland. So we're going to see some sort of transition at some point through parts of Central, and then it looks like that will happen for the Avalon as well through the day. So here's a look at the numbers. Those temperatures sitting between 0 and -3, so just hovering below 0. And then with that change over to rain, we are going to see those temperatures climb up into Thursday, and then quite mild up through Labrador as well. So we're going to see that roller coaster, -3 in Lab City, or rather -13 in Lab City with that snow moving in. Windy conditions along the coast, and then same thing down through the southern half of Newfoundland through the day on Wednesday. So overnight Wednesday into Thursday, there's that system as it moves out. In behind that, we're going to see some potential for some lingering snow through the day on Thursday, and then up through Labrador, it looks like a nice afternoon with the sun peeking out, maybe a few rounds of snow moving back in by the time Friday rolls around. And then again along the coast, a little bit unsettled through the day on Friday for most of Newfoundland, and that will continue through the overnight into Saturday. So here's a look at your 5-day forecast. We're looking at sunshine tomorrow, -6, so those cooler temperatures, and then climbing. So Wednesday should hover around the 0-degree mark. Thursday about 1 degree, so that's why we're either going to see rain or snow through the day. More than likely it will be showers. And then that drop in temperatures again for Friday with that potential for snow, and then generally cloudy through the day on Saturday. Now through Central, even cooler temperatures, so -8 tomorrow. That snow moves in late day Wednesday, continues right through Friday with some peaks of sun, but overnight those temperatures dipping into the -teens. And then Saturday, that sunshine and -8 through the day. Now for western Newfoundland, sunshine tomorrow, but then gray right through Saturday. So snow moves in. It'll stay windy for both Thursday, or rather Wednesday night right through to Friday. And then Saturday, looking at that potential for flurries as well in -8. Now, eastern Labrador, that roller coaster. So -14 tomorrow, -9 by Wednesday. We're going to stay there through Thursday. And then Friday, those temperatures dip back down to seasonal again with that sunshine returning on Saturday. And then same thing for western Labrador with that roller coaster. Temperatures -23 tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. That snow moves through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday flurries, and then sunshine the story for Saturday. So let's look at your forecast. I'll have your weather photo when I come back.
Welcome back to Here and Now, everyone. Well, motorists stranded on a highway in Quebec this weekend decided to make the best of a bad situation.
But first, a warning, this video is extremely Canadian. So you see the vehicles there, that they were held up in some sort of traffic jam because of accidents, and instead of sitting and waiting, A lot of people got out for a little bit of street hockey practice.
Yes, highway hockey, to be exact. Not a bad way to beat a very disruptive day on the highway.
Car, I mean, truck.
Yeah, I don't think you get any more Canadian than that.
That's great.
Yep. And a warning for La Belle Province to put more salt down.
Yes.
And you notice how many of them had hockey sticks.
Yeah, of course.
We said it was very
well, we
Canadian.
all have them in our trunks just in case, don't we?
I don't, but I don't play hockey.
We'll get you one.
Well, we didn't get a chance to look at the weather photo, but there it is, an absolutely beautiful photo there. I'm going to let you guess a little bit.
Flat, calm. I did see the picture while we were in commercials. I said it's either the West Coast or the South Coast, not quite either, but
no.
It is a gorgeous shot.
I drew a blank.
You drew a blank, yeah.
I'm surprised at where it is, though.
Yeah, Garden Cove. So that was the isthmus in the background that you're seeing.
That's right.
So gorgeous.
Which usually you can't see.
Normally you can't see it. That's
true.
Absolutely. You know, I was traveling last weekend, and it was such a beautiful afternoon, and that's what the person who was driving said, like, I don't think I've ever actually seen this before.
Well, thank you, Pamela.
Yeah, Pamela captured that beautifully. Perfect Saturday in Garden Cove. So yeah.
Nice and calm.
Absolutely. Yeah, so if you have any weather photos that you'd like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca because we'd love to see them.
Good to have you back.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Back.
It was a nice day. It was lovely talking with Kelly Loader and all the rest of the interesting things we had in the show.
And there's Monday done. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.